Speaking of the same ilk of people, you know what ilk is? Ilk is that shit you get after you've milked a turd. You get the ilk, and people of the same ilk is this Chris Loesch. You know, the husband / manager, I've now come to find out, of the noted terrorist cunt and child murder enabler Dana Loesch, who is a spokeswoman for the NRA, and who I recently announced here on the program that is one of the crowning achievements of my life, that I was able, even though she doesn't follow wrestling or whatever, that I was able to let her know that a guy named Jim Cornette in Louisville called her a terrorist cunt and said she ought to be ashamed of herself for all the stupid shit she says. And this enraged the right-wing community when she actually retweeted it, and then God blessed me, right? That was a real zinger there. But it enraged the right-wing community that we found out had all the flags and fucking hashtag 2A and pictures of themselves with guns, or pictures of themselves, or pictures of the Constitution, or we found out the most patriotic people in America are the people that the government really should be keeping a fucking eye on for the rest of us, is what we found out. And then we went on our merry way. But then over the past week, and you know Gary Damron from All Star Wrestling over in West Virginia, and he's a fine friend of Stephen P. New and the law offices of Stephen P. New at newlawoffice.com. But Gary runs shows over there, and he had actually tweeted, and I've been over there and worked with him as his Austin Idol and Rock and Roll, many others, and he had tweeted on Twitter, how else would you tweet it? Some about wanting these people to have a Mattel action figure. And he mentioned me and some other wrestling legends or whatever. And he wasn't talking to this fucking Chris Loesch. And I know people have said they pronounce it Lash, but actually some people have said they ought to pronounce it Leech. So I'm going to pronounce it like they spell it. Loeschsch. Loesch. Loesch. So when you want to tell the Loesch's how much you loathe them, spell it right. Anyway, this guy writes back to Gary Damron, who I assume they're not personal friends with. And Gary has actually mentioned that he was not in any way speaking to this guy. Jim Cornette's an idiotic punk.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. He must have been vanity searching your name, not his name, but your name. And then he just found a random tweet and jumped on it.
That's what I was going to, because how else? I don't understand how the whole thing works, because I'm not much on these Twitter things, on the internet machines. But so I've apparently struck a nerve. And we had another little back and forth, and he's not that bright nor that creative, and he apparently wasn't that committed either, because it didn't last long. A lot of the cult members got off. See, it has to bother him when my people knock him, but it doesn't bother me when his people knock me, because I'm looking at those people, right? I mean, you got this guy, apparently he's her manager as well as her husband, manager in quotation marks, because she was apparently a failed actress / TV personality, reality TV personality. She's pitched a bunch of stuff. It never happened. Now, because she looks like that the NRA evangelical gun nut right wing crowd thinks a beautiful woman is supposed to look like, because they don't take into account the fucking evil of the soul that is emanating like the goddamn fucking alien creature in V from the eyes and the face of this fucking just harpy. But so she's got that career now where she's out in front of people, baby facing guns and facilitating, children being shot in schools and etc. But you ought to see, when you go to this guy's picture, you ought to see this guy's mustache. He looks like goddamn Wild Bill fucking Dickhawk from the 1870s in Dodge City. He's got one of those snidely whiplash fucking mustaches, and he has pictures of himself and her and other people with guns on his fucking Twitter. This thing consumes their entire life. They vote for a fucking failed real estate con man / reality TV personality for president because he won't take their guns away. They fucking put their guns on their Twitter. They put the guns on their wall. They go out and shoot their guns with their other gun friends. It's like the abortion nuts who don't believe that women should have the right to decide whether they have fucking babies or not. That they will vote on that. They will vote Charles Manson to be president if he'll make sure abortion is illegal. He'll just kill them after they're born. We don't care about it then. The abortion nuts and the gun nuts and the God nuts If they'll keep God somewhere, we don't care whether they are fucking heinous creatures in real life. If they'll keep God in the school or God in the church or God in the fucking courthouse or God wherever, God on the Supreme Court, it's that group has all found each other and they have something to universally be fanatical about. And that's why that there's a large enough block that the rest of us sensible people that didn't realize that there was that many of these fucking cretins out there got caught unawares and now need, starting in November, to do something about this shit before we all go down the fucking porcelain throne. And also one more thing real quick. Dana Loesch just said that if Martin Luther King Jr. had a concealed carry permit, he'd have been okay.
That is fucking ridiculous. Did she really say that?
Once again, I'm just reporting what's been reported on the major news outlets. That
that is fucking ridiculous.
Because how would she know when one of the most famous figures in the history of civil rights and politics was assassinated, and the whereabouts of same, and the whereupons and details of same, and that it was a sniper that they never even knew was there from 270 something feet. So even if he'd had a goddamn 45 strapped to his fucking hip like Kid Colt Outlaw, he wouldn't have fucking bothered to draw it before he got plugged from a football field away by a sniper. You fucking douchebag. And your fucking douchebag husband with his douchebag fucking mustache. And he did a rap routine at one of these fucking conservative political deals. So he's a rotten white rapper too. How can you be an even worse human being than to facilitate the murder of innocent children? That's by being a rotten white rapper.